Hey, you guys, I'm back and I decided that I needed to, or I feel I've been led to share with y'all some scriptures again. And I went through this before, I think in the Bible study, but I've been brought back because I just had, just like a switch of, my switch got turned back on to reality. Us as people, we go through a lot of stuff individually. Everybody are going through their own trials, tribulations, and things like that. People are caught up in their own personal worlds, just trying to cope and deal with this life. And this video right here is more towards those brothers and sisters that's in the truth, of in the truth of the Hebrew heritage and the truth about the people of the Bible being the so-called Negroes. And, to some of the people that are still not into the truth that deep, but are realizing that there's something going on with Christianity. Here's the thing. For a long time, what's going on spiritually shows in our reality. Like the spiritual war that's going on is showing up in our reality in these days, and more so than ever now, because we are truly, honestly in the last days. Okay. Black people, Hebrews, so-called Negroes or African Americans, our ancestors, okay, I'm talking about the ancestors before the slave trade, were known as Hebrews. They were a set apart people from all the other nations surrounding them. And this particular people were usually people of color, melanin, okay, black, okay, but the creator, there is a creator. His name is not God. That's not it. Okay, the creator, the great I am. Okay, he set our ancestors, the Hebrews, apart. He gave them a law. He gave them rules to live by, rules to govern themselves in order to keep themselves tainted from things that would harm them and their nation and our legacy and what the Most High wanted to represent. But our people forgot that. Why? Because our people fell into idol worship. Even before our people, our ancestors, went into slavery, even before Egypt, even before they exited out of Egypt, our people was not worshiping the creator, the great I am. They were worshiping things that they felt a deep affection for. Okay, they started worshiping the things that were created instead of the creator. And this happened long before the slave trade, okay? That's the reason why our people got in that predicament. And what happened? When our ancestors were in bondage, okay, in Egypt, they cried out to the Most High. Now, these ancestors are the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Everybody knows the story of Abraham. These are his people. This is a real seed. This is not everybody in the world. This is a particular bloodline of people, okay? They called for help. The Most High Creator heard them, had mercy on them, showed them grace, and sent somebody to save them. He anointed a Messiah. Okay, that's what the word Messiah means. He anointed somebody to go in his authority with the power that he gave that individual to set his people free. And that person was Moses. And because Moses couldn't speak right, he had, speaking issues as far as stuttering and being nervous. The Most High allowed him to have somebody on his side, and that was his brother Moses. Okay? So the Most High sent Moses and Aaron to free them from Egypt. When they went into the wilderness, the Most High was trying to wean them off of all of that nasty stuff that they got entangled in while they were in their enemy's land. Bondage, serving false gods, doing nasty things that the Most High didn't like. So for 40 years, the Most High had them going around in circles because they couldn't wean off from the false idol worship. Taking glory from the Creator and giving it to something else, another being, another identity, okay? That considers idol worship. And what happened? The Most High said he would punish us because of this. Each time we did that to the Most High, he would punish us. Somebody will come, make us slaves, oppress us. Then we'll say we're going to do right again. And the Most High will forgive us and send us and get us released again. And what happened? Once everything started getting back to normal, once our people started getting back on top, they fall again by worshiping the false gods. And it's always been two characters, two main false idols in this world that has to this world apart, but they go by different names depending on the culture, depending on the time period. But there's nothing new under the sun. It's the same false idols. And people, you have to understand, we as individuals, especially black people, we can have real power. If we're connected to this power source, the Creator, and fullness and truth, we have power. Okay, we have power and we can make things come to light. Once you start believing something in your mind, you can bring that to life. And that's how you can start feeding your own self a lie and an illusion. But that's another story. Okay, I'm going to read this. And just think about the predicament that the black race is in right now. Because remember, you are the people of the book, the Bible. It's not those people over there in Israel right now. Those are not the quote unquote children of Yahweh, which is Israel. They call themselves Jews, Jew. That's what they call themselves, but they are imposters. They're the synagogue of Satan. Okay, the true people are the people that's oppressed right now, that's been in slavery, that has no type of respect in this world. They're looked upon as animals, and that's the black people, the black race. No matter where you go at in the world, it's the same thing. If you are a pigmented person, you are being discriminated against because you are the chosen person of the Bible. But guess what? You don't have your power. You don't know your Father. You don't know the Creator because you're worshiping false gods. You don't know your own true history because they told you your history started from slavery, and that's a lie. And no, we're not into Kemet because we're not the Egyptians. Our legacy didn't start in Egypt. It started before Egypt. Okay? The Egyptians are dark skinned as well, but they are not the Hebrews. Okay? So just as I'm reading this, just think about the predicament that we're in. Okay? This is coming from Samuel. And this is after Israel asked for a king. Because, like I said before, they didn't have a king. They didn't have a president. What did they have? They were led by the Most High. And Moses and Aaron was their leader. Moses didn't tax the people. He didn't require any type of money or any type of finances from these people at all. All Moses was somebody who the people knew they could come to so that he could commune with the Father up above. Okay? That was it. This before they had anybody taxing them, before Uncle Sam, before the government. Okay? Before the start of the beast system. Okay? It says in 1 Samuel chapter 12, I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, Samuel continued, the Most High is the one who chose Moses and Aaron and who brought your ancestors out of Egypt. Now stand where you are, and I will accuse you before Yah, I am. Okay? By reminding you of all the mighty actions the Most High did to save you and your ancestors. When Jacob and his family went to Egypt and the Egyptians oppressed them. Your ancestors cried to the Most High for help, and he, singular, and he sent Moses and Aaron, who brought them out of Egypt and settled them in this land. But the people forgot Yah, their Savior. They forgot the Most High once they got into their land. And so he let the Philistines and the king of Moab and Sisera, commander of the army of the city of Hazah, fight against your ancestors and conquer them. So we see here right now, once they started forgetting the Most High started letting their enemies conquer them. Okay? It goes on to say, then they cried to the Most High for help and said, we have sinned because we turned away from Yah. They already knew what they did. Listen to what they said. Then they cried to Yahuwah for help and said, we have sinned because we turned away from you, Yah, and worship the idols, gods, demigods, and worship the idols of Baal and Astarte. Baal and Astarte is nothing more than your modern day Mary and Jesus Christ. Okay? Modern day in these times, but they go by many names. Look it up. It's the same false gods and idols who the Creator was mad about. So don't say that Jesus came or Yahushua or Yahusha or anybody that said they were a demigod basically came and died. Anybody that said they died on the cross and sacrificed for you is a liar and it's a false idol. The Creator didn't do that. Listen what it says. It says, then they cried to the Most High for help and said, we have sinned because we turned away from you, Yah, and worship the idols, plural, meaning many. You see that? Plurals. And worship the idols of Baal and Astarte. Listen, Baal and Astarte went by many gods, many idols named. That's why they said, and worship the idols, plural, of Baal and Astarte, Christ and Mary, Krishna, and who else? Okay, Tammuz. All these people called by different names, but it's the same story. Okay, because we have sinned. Because we turned away from you, Yah, and worship the idols of Baal and Astarte. Rescue us from our enemies, and we will worship you, singular, and we will worship you. And Yah sent Gadam, Barak, and Jephthah. I don't know if I'm saying it right. And finally me. This is Samuel talking. Each of us rescued you from your enemies. Ordinary men the Most High sent to rescue them from bondage and being oppressed. It says, each of us rescued you from your enemies, and you lived in safety. But when you saw that the king Nahash of Ammon was about to attack you, you rejected Yah as your king. You rejected the Most High as your king, and then we wanted another king. And then we wanted the physical kings, and that's how Saul came about. Okay, it says, but when you saw that the king Nahash of Ammon was about to attack you, you rejected Yah as your king and said to me, we want a king to rule us. AKA, we want a president. We want the beast system. You asked for it. It says, now I'm going to drop down. I'm going to go down to verse 18. It says, so Samuel prayed and on this, so Samuel said he was going to show the people that they sinned against the Most High by praying for rain because it was the dry season. So Samuel prayed, and that same day it rained. So the people knew that they sinned against the Most High by asking for a king, and secondly, among many, worshiping the false idols of Jesus and Mary. Okay? It says this. It says, 18. So Samuel prayed, and on that same day, Yahuwah sent thunder and rain. Then all the people became afraid of the Most High and of Samuel. And they said to Samuel, please, sir, pray to the Most High your power for us so that we won't die. We now realize that besides all our other sins, we have sinned by asking for a king. Verse 20, don't be afraid, Samuel answered. Even though you have done such an evil thing, do not turn away from the Most High, but serve him with all your heart. Grace and mercy right there. Nobody had to die for you. Don't be afraid, Samuel answered. Even though you have done such an evil thing, do not turn away from the Most High, but serve him singular with all your heart. Don't go after false gods. Don't go after Jesus. Don't go after Mary. Don't go after Buddha. Don't go after Krishna. Okay? Don't go after yourself. Don't go after your money. Don't go after your husband. Don't go after your wife. Don't go after material things. Okay? It says, don't be afraid, Samuel answered. Even though you have done such an evil thing, do not turn away from the Most High, but serve him with all your heart. Don't go after false gods. They cannot help you or save you. Why? For they are not real. The Most High has made a solemn promise, and he will not abandon you, for he has decided to make you, black man, black woman, his own people. As for me, the Most High forbid that I should sin against him by not praying for you anymore. Instead, I will teach you what is right and good for you to do. And this is what is good for us to do. It says, obey Yah and serve him singly, faithfully, with all your heart. Remember the great things he has done for you and our ancestors. Remember Egypt. Go back. Remember the great things he has done for you. But if we continue to sin, us, our king, our president, everything about us will be destroyed. Yah Barakin.